Narayana. Hari Om and good morning from Ann Arbor. In chapter 12 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Prince Arjuna begins the chapter by asking Bhagavan Krishna whether he should engage in bhakti, whether he should love Bhagavan Krishna as Bhagavan, or whether he should follow bhakti, he should engage in devotion towards Bhagavan without a form and name, which we refer to as Brahman. This is the question. In Shloka 2, Bhagavan gives the answer. The answer is to Prince Arjuna, to all of us, that we should love Bhagavan, and through loving Bhagavan, can we start to love Brahman. So through Bhagavan to Brahman. He gives a reason for all of this, and then in Shloka 6, Bhagavan gives a message about what love is, what bhakti is. And he says, when you live for Bhagavan, that's bhakti. When you love someone, you live for them, right? And an easy way for this to become real for us is when we study the way that Bhagavan lived. And studying, I'm not just saying hearing. The hearing is the katha part, the studying is the Vedanta part. When we hear and study how Bhagavan lives, we come to make this a priority in our lives. We start to live like Bhagavan more too. Coming back to what we studied last week in Ayodhya Kanda, a Bhagavata is incomparable. A Bhagavata is someone who loves Bhagavan. A Bhagavata is Bhagavan. A Bhagavata is the text that leads the Bhakta to Bhagavan. And all of them are incomparable. Bhagavan Rama tells Sri Bharata, the only reason I'm going to come back to Ayodhya is for you. If Sri Bharata did not go to the jungle to ask Bhagavan Rama to come back, Sri Rama wouldn't have come back. Because Sri Bharata is fine in Ayodhya, he's fine in the forest. But Bhagavan Rama is only coming back because Sri Bharata wants him to come back, needs him to come back. That's a detail we don't know. And that's why I'm sharing a Bhagavata, like Sri Bharata, is incomparable, that the infinite has to bow down to such love. We continue. I'm on the 316th section of Chaupais. I'm going to read line 2, the second Chaupai, and line 2 of the second Chaupai. Okay, so 316, 2, 2. Sri Bharata is asked for a support to return to Ayodhya. And now here's the message that Bhagavan Rama gives. Prabhu kari kripa pavari dini sadara bharata sisadhari lini. That Bhagavan Rama, out of compassion, knowing that Sri Bharata needs the support, needs an alambana, he gives his padukas. He gives what he was as if wearing in the forest, because we never hear Bhagavan Rama wearing padukas, but he had them with him. So he gave those padukas to Sri Bharata, and Sri Bharata immediately put them on his head. So this is what's shared in this part of Ayodhya Kanda. Now leading up to this, what has happened? When Sri Bharata tells Bhagwan Rama that I'm ready to go back, all of the devatas rejoiced. And what did the devatas love doing? Showering flowers. And what they're described as here is they're swarthi. Swarthi means selfish. Because the devatas are not actually caring about Bharat or even about Bhagwan Rama. They're only caring about their own problems being addressed. So Goswamiji describes them as suraswarthi. Now Shri Bharata has to go back, Raja Janaka is there and all of the citizens, and they want to know what Bhagwan Rama has been doing. You know, like when you visit someone who's moved to another city, why did you move to this city? Let's see what your school you go to, where you work. So Shri Bharata tells Bhagwan Rama, I'd like to see where you've walked, where you eat, where you've lived. So for 5 days, Sri Bharata and everyone, they were tourists. They were tourists in Chitrakuta. Now Mother Earth, she felt very bad that Sri Bharata and them, they're living like Bhagwan Rama, so they're also not wearing anything on their feet. So she actually took in all of the thorns and stones into her surface and made her surface smooth so that they can see more as they walked around and experience what Bhagwan Rama is experiencing. And after those 5 days, they came back to Bhagwan Rama, and Bhagwan Rama doesn't have the heart to tell them that they need to leave. They need to leave because he has to carry on his responsibilities in the jungle, and they also have responsibilities. He can't say that, but he's feeling that. And Sri Bharata is so in tune with him that he tells Bhagwan Rama, I think we should leave now. And here, Sri Bharata asks Bhagwan Rama, how can I be a good king? How can I be like you? And Bhagwan Rama shares a famous chopai, which Guruji Swami Tejamananda asked us to memorize. This is the 315th section of chopais. This is the Doha. Bhagwan Rama tells Sri Bharata, you should be like this. Mukhiya mukhuso chahiye khana pana kahu eka. A leader should be like the mouth. Only the mouth gets food, gets drinks. Only the mouth digests, is the cause for digestion. Palye poshe sakala aga tulasi sahita viveka. And then that mouth that receives all the food and drink, it digests it, filters it, and then shares it to the muscles, to the heart, etc. So here, Bhagwan Rama is telling Sri Bharata, you should be like this. See, they never talk in a straightforward way. How should I be a good king? Be like a mouth. And then starts to describe what a mouth does. And that's why we need to know the Vedanta part, not just the Katha part. So I'll elaborate. What word did I describe the Suras or the Devatas as? Swartha, selfish. If you open up that word, it's su-artha. They're only looking after their own welfare. But what we need to do is change our su-artha, what is meaningful to us, from just ourselves to all. The Vedanta portion of what we should be learning from Ramayana is we should be swarthis. But swarthi shouldn't mean selfish to just me. It should be me thinking about all. In chapter 12, when Bhagavan Krishna starts elaborating on virtues that Sri Lakshmana should have, what is the first virtue that he mentions? Adveshta sarva bhutanam. That you should be positive, you should be kind towards all beings. So the suras, though they're called filled with light, they're actually not filled with real light. And we should learn to fill ourselves with real light. When we feel that light in our heart, we become lighthearted. We start to become more positive. The message behind why a king should be like a mouth, why a leader should be like a mouth, the idea is that the mouth is the one who's inputting all and then sharing all. The mouth should work hard. A leader should be the hardest working person that they know. Now, all of the people who are involved with our Chinmaya Mission Centers, you're involved with Seva, when it comes to work and someone says, okay, can you do this? You should say yes before you're asked. When we're asked, we keep looking to the person to the left, person to the right, person behind. And if no one else puts their hand up, fine, I'll do it. And we even say it and feel it like that. But when it comes to eating, yeah, I'll eat first, right? So we're the mouth, but not the hard-working part. So this is what Sri Bharata is being told by Bhagwan Rama. You should be the hardest working person in Ayodhya. And to help you, I'm giving you my padukas. Soon, in most of our cities, other than those who are fortunate in Portland, though it snows in Portland now, I'm told also, soon there will be snow on the ground. I know. And as you go about walking in the snow, you no longer wear flip-flops, you no longer wear shoes, you have to wear boots. But what if you had to go outside bare feet? How balanced would you be on ice with your bare feet? Not very balanced. You're all saying, yes, we would be balanced. Feel what I'm trying to say with all of you. You would not be balanced. Padukas are a symbol or an icon of balance. So Bhagwan Rama is giving these padukas, showing that you should be balanced. Because as a leader, there's going to be a lot of praise and a lot of criticism. And balance comes from virtues. When I have virtues like patience, I'm more balanced, correct? When I'm more generous, I'm more balanced. When I'm disciplined, I'm more balanced. In Chinmaya Mission, we have such reverence for padukas. It's not the wood that we're concerned about, or the wood plated in silver. That's an icon of balance from virtues. Goswamiji says that these padukas actually symbolize much more. He says each of these padukas symbolize a letter in Bhagwan Rama's name. One is Ra and one is Ma. So where should Rama be? Here. But Rama also means joy. What should be the priority to one's life? Joy. Goswamiji also says one of these padukas is hands and one of these padukas is eyes. Hands that are engaged in seva and the eyes to have the vision to guide that seva. Hands could be interpreted as ritualists. I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. So that's why he says eyes also, that you should have the philosophy behind the practice. And finally, Goswamiji says, one of the padukas is Mother Sita and one of the padukas is Bhagwan Rama. And Sri Bharata says, I'm as happy as if Mother Sita and Bhagwan Rama are living in Ayodhya. So we see very strongly from that one message that for Sri Bharata, he's not depending on the physical presence to stay balanced, to stay virtuous. For everyone in this room, now our retreat is complete, and the low point of the week for a typical person is Monday morning. And if you still feel that, then it's always in sight, in mind, but out of sight, out of mind. But see, Sri Bharata's not like that. He's not forgotten. And this continues. I'm on the 324th section of Chopais, 324. I'm reading the first Chopai, the second line. Sri Bharata has these padukas on his head, and now naturally he's going back to Ayodhya. What happens? Nandi grava kari parana kutira. Sri Bharata makes his kutira, and it's known as Nandi Grama. You've all heard this before. And where is it? Kina nivasu dharamadhura dhira. Sri Bharata, who's the embodiment of responsibility, he built Nandi Grama right outside of Ayodhya. Who's not living in Ayodhya? Sri Rama. So Sri Bharata says, I can't live there either. Where's Sri Rama sleeping? On the ground. So Sri Bharata digs a cave and sleeps under the ground. That if Bhagwan is here, I can't be an equal to Bhagwan. So he literally digs a cave outside of Ayodhya and lives there. Goswamiji says Indra is jealous of Ayodhya for its comforts. Kubera is jealous of Ayodhya for its riches. And there's Sri Bharata outside of all of that. So elaborating some more on this. When Sri Bharata has these padukas on his head and they're going to return to Ayodhya, we enter the Devas again. The Devas cast their Maya and they made everyone feel tamasic. They all felt tired and sleepy and they just wanted to go home. Like all of you right now. I just want to go home. Like Vyasa after a long day. He just wants to go home. And the Devatas felt very proud of themselves, you know. We're going to make them go back so Bhagwan Rama can keep moving forward. So it's like an Indian goodbye takes a long time, right? Do you want to have tea again? Do you want to have snacks again? Gupshup. We talk a little bit at the door. I walk you to your car. Right? It takes forever. So this is all happening also. So now all of the mothers say goodbye to Bhagwan Rama. Bhagwan Rama says goodbye to the gurus. And everyone is overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with happiness because they had darshan of Bhagwan Rama, but overwhelmed that they're not going to have darshan moving forward. It's shared that people just lost consciousness of themselves. Goswamiji says, I can't write anymore. It's indescribable. Then comes a famous chopai, which I'll also tell you about. Because they all return, and what about Mother Sita, Sri Lakshmana, Sri Rama? This is the 321st section of chopais. This is the Doha. Bhagati Gyanu Vairagya Janu Sohata Dhare Sarira. The bodies of Mother Sita, Sri Lakshmana, and Bhagwan Rama, it was shining like light. That they all went back to Ayodhya and they all stayed in the forest and they were sitting together thinking about Sri Bharata. Now, what are they all thinking about? Sri Rama. What are they all thinking about? Sri Bharata. They're all going towards their dharma. They're reminiscing about their experience right now. And that's why it says that they shine like Bhagwan Rama's like knowledge. And Sri Lakshmana's like Vairagya, or independence. And Mother Sita is like bhakti. And they're all remembering Sri Bharata. And as I was reading this, I was reminded of, how many of you have ever organized a wedding for a child or a sibling in your family? Child, sibling? It's a lot of work, and a lot of money, and a lot of time. And everyone's all for that, and as soon as it's over, you first reminisce, we had this mehendi and this sangeet and I miss this person. And that person's also thinking about the same thing, and then everyone sleeps. You sleep in the hallway, you sleep near the shoes, you sleep anywhere. But they're all reminiscing about that experience. It's like these retreats too, right? As you leave these retreats, this is what we learned in the discourse, nothing. This is what we did in the park, and so on and so forth. When Raja Janaka goes back with Sri Bharata, he actually goes to Ayodhya and he administrates as the king for 4 days. Because Sri Bharata has no experience and Raja Janaka has so much experience. And I love that detail. He goes back and acts as a liaison to the king for 4 days, shows Sri Bharata you can do it, and then he returns to Mithila. Sri Bharata is now living outside of Ayodhya, and Goswamiji says, day by day he's becoming thinner. And in the same line, he says, day by day he's becoming stronger. That's a very beautiful thought. When we think of becoming thinner, we think about being weaker, right? Like when we all go to India and our grandparents or uncles and aunties say, don't they feed you in Canada? Don't they feed you in America? Are you sick? But he's thinner and stronger because every day he would go and worship the Padukas in Ayodhya. He always remembered Bhagwan Rama. So bringing some of the Vedanta to this, I was sharing where Sri Bharata is living. Simple living, high thinking is one of the prime messages of Vedanta. Simple living, high thinking. What comes first, simple living or high thinking? Simple living or high thinking? The materialistic people say high thinking. Actually, some high thinking is required in the beginning. Some high thinking. When you start to realize that maybe happiness is not outside, you start to simplify how you live then. And the simpler your life becomes, the more time and effort you have to engage in simple living. So it's really some high thinking, lots of simple living, lots of high thinking. And Sri Bharata is an example of that. Goswamiji says, for the people who have invoked Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita, they're as dispassionate, as independent to pleasure, possession, position, as someone would be to their own vomit. That's the example given. So if you can think of your own vomit, just because it's written there, I'm telling you. And did you keep it? Did you collect it and put it in the fridge for future use? Right away, please go away. Even the smell, you start airing all of that out. For someone who has Shri inside, for someone who has that bhagya within, then it doesn't matter if there's Shri outside or not. It doesn't matter if there's pleasure, possession, position or not. Sri Bharata is feeling like Bhagwan Rama is living with him in Ayodhya. Many of us use pleasure, possession, position as a form of security. This is my 401k. That's the term we use in America, right? In the States, we have in Canada, we have our RSPs. This is my security. Or my kids are my security. They're going to look after me when I'm older. I don't know what Maya we're experiencing in that regard. These ideas of security. One way to describe Bhagwan is omnipresent. Bhagwan is in all places, past, present, future. Not only omnipresent, he is also omniscient, the one who is all-knowing, and also omnipotent. Why do we look for security in pleasure, possession, position, when Bhagwan knows what we need and Bhagwan can nourish us with what we need? People who worry, people who are afraid, they're actually not following that God is all-pervading. God is our well-wisher, not our wish-fulfiller. If you can tune in that Bhagwan is your well-wisher and not your wish-fulfiller, then you know Bhagwan will allow you to be secure, allow you to be comfortable, which is peace. Please remember that. That makes such a difference about us having faith or not faith in Bhagwan. Finally, I shared with you that Mother Sita is the embodiment of bhakti. As shared here, Bhagwan Rama is the embodiment of jnana or jnana, and Sri Lakshmana is vairagya. Opening these words up more, vairagya is an icon for virtues. Vairagya means independence. Someone who's patient, calm, disciplined, forgiving. They're independent. They have no FOMO. They don't need others to cause them to be joyous. And Sri Lakshmana is always in the back, yes? For us, that shows the first part of our journey. If we want to reach Bhagwan Rama, we have to start with Sri Bharata, focusing on virtues. Mother Sita is a symbol, the icon for bhakti. And in English, this should mean direction. These virtues should be Directed. When they're directed towards the lower, what do we call that? Sneha. When my virtues, my love are directed towards that which is not making me a better person, sneha. Like sleeping in on Sundays. Oh, I didn't know it was daylight savings time. When these virtues are directed towards the higher, for my upliftment, it's called prema. That which helps me to realize Bhagwan, Brahman. So Mother Sita is the next part of our journey. Number one, develop virtues and then start to direct them. Not outside, but within. And finally, there's Bhagwan Rama, who is an icon of knowledge, an icon of joy. He's the end part of our journey, is to direct those virtues towards joy. Sri Bharata is becoming thinner but stronger. He has the same virtues as Sri Lakshmana. And where are they being directed? Towards Bhagwan Rama. He never forgot Bhagwan Rama. We live out of sight, out of mind. Sri Bharata, Bhagwan Rama is out of sight, but he's not out of mind. Every one of you keeps asking me, how do we stay inspired? How do we stay in satsang? Learn from Sri Bharata. Bhagwan Rama's body is made up of light. There's light in all of your rooms. See Bhagwan Rama in that light. What is shared is, for the person who chants the word Rama, that which is extraordinary is ordinary. Even if they yawn. Goswamiji says, even if you say Rama as you're yawning or sleeping or frustrated, Rama! Even saying it like that brings such extraordinary peace and prosperity to oneself. And with this, we actually complete Ayodhya Kanda. I was not expecting us to move through Ayodhya Kanda like we did, and when I reached the end, I was surprised and happy and sad. Happy that we get to experience the next Kanda, but sad because this one's so beautiful. Goswamiji says, this is our Palashruti. I'm going to read it to you in English. The most sanctifying story of Bharata's doing is delightful and charming, and a fountain of joy and blessings. It drives away the terrible sins and afflictions of the Kali age. It is a veritable sun to disperse the night of the great delusion which has thrown us into the world, and is a lion, the king of beasts, for crushing the herd of elephants in the shape of sins and allays of all kinds of sufferings. It delights the devotees, relieves the burden of transmigration, and is the essence of the moon of the devotion to Sri Rama. For the past many weeks, this is what we've been investing in ourselves. I'm sure work didn't provide that. When you go to work in your job description, does it say it'll lead you to enlightenment? When you graduate from school, is it on your diploma? All of the herds of elephants in the shape of sins will all be destroyed. But just a few weeks of listening to Vedanta and Ramayana, if you actually thought about it, so you're studying this, do you feel more divine? Do you feel closer to Bhagwan? Oh.